This is the thing with movies, right? You have a certain perception of someone, and the perception is not always a reality. For example, Al Pacino is not Scarface.
If you see the news, things are developing, and as the wise philosopher Shannon Sharpadamus once said, let it develop, Skip. So we need to let it develop. Let the story develop. But there are definitely some very interesting things that we can talk about. I mean, like any good movie, like any good story, there's a, well, I hate it when someone says it, but there's a twist or multiple twists in this video, and we haven't even reached the end yet. So I'm just very, yeah. But as Kara said, at the pad we talked about it. It wasn't. We talked about doing the show, but everything just started, and you know how things are, guys. We're quick to reach conclusions, and we're quick to vilify. We wanted to let things develop, and now we have enough to make at least a first show of this story.
Skip, we got a better assessment. Skip, we have a better assessment of the situation now. Why do I sound like Mike Tyson?
I
Anyway,
like he sound like
guys,
Bora! Hora do show!
it's showtime. And in today's show, we're going to talk about Jonathan Majors. And we're going to start at the very beginning. How did it all started? Where are we now? Where are we going to go to in the future? Jonathan has been dropped by a couple of brands already, but the biggest brand hasn't dropped him yet. We're going to talk about that in the second part of the show. In the first part, we're going to dive a bit deeper into the case itself. Guys, it all started end March, beginning of April, where Jonathan got arrested for assault and harassment. Of his then girlfriend. The army pulled out right away. Like it was Afghanistan. Before we knew it, they were gone.
recklessly.
Your mic, or is it me?
No, it's me. I said recklessly.
Recklessly, they pulled out. They were like, I'm
Which
out of here.
which isn't which is out of character for the army because they're not known to pull out.
Oh, they've been pulling out lately, right? New presidents, new pull-out methods.
Yeah, well,
They don't leave it in. Pause. Anyway, oh,
the the army, yes, but not the
Oh.
soldiers. The soldiers don't pull out. They have babies everywhere. Man.
shout out to all the soldiers.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Anyway, guys, so he was accused right away of assault and harassment. The funny thing is, according to the story, there are different stories being told. The main story that has been told is that it was Jonathan who called 12, or some who call them the police, to assist him because he was the one ducking the 1-2s. And the 1-2s are the. He was being tapped out here. We didn't realize he's just an actor, and he was the one who was getting the blue eyes at home. Was he was he mad at acting the role of his girlfriend? Was he the one? Was he actually Damien, actually, the character he was playing as his girlfriend. I guess we'll never know the real truth behind it. But he was the one basically ducking the fate. He called the police. And what happened is that there were a lot of articles released around that time. New York Post saying Jonathan Major's girlfriend takes blame for fight that led to assault charges. Text show. RJ, have you read about those texts?
I've read about those texts. I think I've read one of those texts as well. When I read it, I was like,
I don't know if we need to release this one.
not sure if this is the not sure if this is what you want to. Not sure if it's doing what you think it's supposed to do, because you can interpret it very, very badly, not in favor of Jonathan Majors. But I did read some of the text, and I believe from the get go, I think like 2 or 3 days later, Jonathan Majors did come out and say that he was the victim. But KR, he just, I mean, the Creed 3 movie just dropped. People saw what he could do. So
They just didn't know he was playing his girlfriend.
if he was playing Steve Urkel,
Wow.
guys, I mean, some of you
Didn't get
guys,
a better chance.
yeah, this might go. Some of you guys might need to look him up.
No, I'll look him up for them.
So
No worry, no worry. Continue. I'll look it up for him.
if he was playing Steve Urkel, then people might have been able to accept that he is, or yeah, accept that he is a victim. But he played a buff villain that can fight, and he plays a villain in other series as well. So I mean, he was fighting an uphill. He is fighting
Yes, fine.
an
Look at
uphill
this.
battle.
Look at this. Do you guys believe? And for the listeners, we're gonna show a picture of him that they took for the Creed 3 movie. Do you actually? This is the thing with movies, right? You have a certain perception of someone, and the perception is not always a reality. For example, Al Pacino is not Scarface, even though some might think he is not really Scarface. What you see in the movie is not always reality. Who would have thought? And I'm gonna show the picture now. That this man, this brolic dude, was the one catching the fade. Look at him. Look, he looks very, very threatening in the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, in the movie, for sure, because he can play a villain very well. He can convince anybody.
Very well.
What did you say?
No, I say very well.
Very well, very well,
Okay.
very well. And that is something that the I mean, it gives you a perception. I forgot who it was, KR. I think it was someone. Yeah, that's Steve Urkel, guys. That's what I was talking about. For those of you who don't know, if he was playing this, if he had this role, and he said that he was a victim, then people would believe it. But you can't be villains in all the movies and expect people to think that you're innocent. That's unfortunate. But people, I don't know, people seemingly can't distinct fact from fiction. But
Stupid.
but I forgot who it was. I think it was one of the actresses who played in Friday, Felicia. The one that played Felicia. It's in Friday, right? She says that people still to this day make jokes about her, and like she's even traumatized. She's
But they wasn't it they were people were walking to and Dave Chappelle also said it, right? He was at I think it was Disney World or Disneyland. I don't know, one of the Disney theme parks. and people were walking in back when he had the
Skit.
Chappelle show out.
Chappelle show,
The
yeah.
skit, and it was the skit about
I'm rich, rich.
it wasn't the yeah, was it? I think it's rich bitch, or it was the
Oh, the very famous
Rick
one.
James.
Rick
Rick
James.
James, bitch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was people were walking. He was
I'm a
walking with his kids, and people were, I'm Rick James, bitch. Come on, man.
I'm with my children.
I'm with my kids. Yes. Come on, have a heart, guy. Come on, man. Where is? Hey, man, where is Biden? Where you meet? Man, you need
Come
him.
on, man.
Biden always forgets to chime in.